Did you know that the very foods marketed to protect your waistline in your 60s might be physically shrinking the memory center of your brain? You look in the mirror and realize the person staring back feels a little more tired, a little more forgetful, and perhaps a bit frustrated by the mental fog that seems to roll in by mid-afternoon. You might have chalked up those misplaced keys, that forgotten name, or the sudden inability to focus to just getting older. But what if I told you the real culprit is sitting in your pantry right now, disguised as a healthy diet snack? We have been sold a massive, highly profitable lie. For decades, the health food industry has targeted seniors with bright, cheerful packaging promising low-fat, sugar-free, and heart-healthy benefits. We trust these labels because we are trying to do the right thing for our longevity. But beneath those clever marketing phrases lies a hidden culprit, a chemical cocktail of synthetic sweeteners, highly processed industrial oils, and fractionated proteins that actually bypass your body's natural defenses and trigger severe neuroinflammation. To understand why this happens, we need to understand a little bit about how our magnificent brains work as we age. Your brain is mostly made of fat and water, and it relies on incredibly delicate chemical signals to form memories, learn new things, keep your mood stable, and maintain your balance. In our younger years, our bodies have robust detoxification systems that can filter out a lot of the junk we consume. The blood-brain barrier, a tight network of blood vessels that protects your neural tissue, acts like a strict bouncer at an exclusive club, keeping toxins out. However, as we pass our 60th birthday, this barrier naturally becomes a little more permeable. When you eat these specific so-called diet foods, you are sending microscopic inflammatory agents right past the bouncer. This initiates a cascade of inflammation that literally causes brain atrophy over time. Yes, actual shrinkage of the hippocampus, the seahorse-shaped region of your brain responsible for storing and retrieving memories. In our conversation today, we are going to walk through 3 of the most popular, supposedly healthy diet snacks that you need to throw in the trash immediately. More importantly, I am going to show you exactly what to replace them with, so you never feel deprived. By the end of our time together, you will have a clear, science-backed roadmap to clearing that brain fog, protecting your memories, and reclaiming your mental sharpness. Before we dive into this critical, life-changing information, consider subscribing to our community. We share the kind of deep, science-backed senior health tips that doctors often overlook during rushed 15-minute appointments. I also want to know who I am talking to today, so drop a comment below and tell me, where are you watching from? It is always so wonderful to see our global family coming together to take charge of their health and support one another on this journey. Let us start by addressing something you might have reached for just this afternoon, or perhaps enjoyed after dinner last night. I am talking about those artificially sweetened sugar-free treats. This includes diet sodas, sugar-free puddings, zero-calorie flavored waters, and those supposedly diabetic-friendly cookies. We reach for these products because we want to do the right thing. We want to keep our blood sugar in check, maintain our waistlines, and avoid the diabetes risk that our doctors constantly warn us about. It seems like the perfect compromise, right? You get the sweet taste without the caloric penalty. But the artificial sweeteners used in these products, specifically aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin, are wreaking absolute havoc on your aging brain, and the mechanism by which they do this is twofold. First, when you consume these synthetic sweeteners, they do not just pass harmlessly through your body as the manufacturers claim. They break down in your digestive tract into secondary compounds. In a younger, highly resilient body, these might be processed out by the liver and kidneys with only mild irritation. But over the age of 60, our detoxification pathways are not as swift. These chemical compounds enter the bloodstream, cross that increasingly vulnerable blood-brain barrier, and act as what neuroscientists call excitotoxins. An excitotoxin is exactly what it sounds like, a substance that excites a brain cell to death. It overstimulates your neurons, causing them to fire rapidly and uncontrollably until they exhaust their cellular energy and literally die. If that is not concerning enough, we also have to look at what these artificial sweeteners do to your gut microbiome. Your gut is often referred to as your second brain, and for good reason. The bacteria in your digestive tract produce up to 90% of your body's serotonin and a significant portion of your dopamine, the neurotransmitters that keep you happy, focused, and motivated. Artificial sweeteners act like a broad-spectrum herbicide in your gut, wiping out colonies of beneficial bacteria. Without these good bacteria, your gut lining becomes inflamed, sending alarm signals directly up the vagus nerve to your brain, creating a state of chronic, low-grade neuroinflammation. The scientific evidence backing this up is staggering and impossible to ignore. A landmark decade-long study published in the American Heart Association's renowned journal, Stroke, involving thousands of participants over the age of 60, revealed a deeply disturbing truth. The researchers found that people who consumed artificially sweetened diet foods and beverages on a daily basis were nearly 3 times as likely to develop dementia and suffer an ischemic stroke compared to those who consumed them rarely. Let that sink in for a moment. 3 times the risk of losing your memories and your independence simply because you were trying to cut out sugar to be healthy. Imagine your brain cells like a vast, beautiful network of delicate, glowing light bulbs. Excitotoxins from these fake sugars crank the electrical voltage up so high that the bulbs burn out, shatter, and go permanently dark. That is what is happening to your neural pathways every time you sip a Diet Cola. The actionable takeaway here is to completely banish artificial sweeteners from your pantry today. Do not finish the box because you do not want to waste money. Your brain cells are worth infinitely more than a $3 box of cookies. Instead, swap those synthetic diet snacks for nature's sweets. A handful of fresh, organic blueberries or a square of high-quality dark chocolate, sweetened naturally with a touch of pure stevia or monk fruit extract, will satisfy that craving. These natural alternatives provide the sweetness you desire along with powerful, brain-protecting antioxidants called polyphenols, all without frying your delicate neural networks. It is completely understandable if you feel a bit betrayed or frustrated by the food industry right now. We all do. You trusted those labels because you care deeply about your health and you want to be here, vibrant and present, for your loved ones. But remember, knowledge is absolute power. Every single time you choose a real whole food alternative over a chemical substitute, you are actively defending your brain and reclaiming your health. Moving on to the next hidden danger, we need to talk about the crunch you crave when you are watching television or reading a book. For years, health authorities told us that dietary fat was the enemy of cardiovascular health, prompting a massive shift toward low-fat, high-carbohydrate diets. As a result, you probably thought you were making the incredibly smart, heart-healthy choice by swapping greasy potato chips for baked vegetable chips, low-fat pretzels, air-popped diet popcorn, or those thin, crispy rice snacks. Unfortunately, to make these low-fat, highly processed carbohydrates palatable, shelf-stable for months, and wonderfully crunchy, manufacturers douse them in industrial seed oils. These include canola oil, sunflower oil, soybean oil, safflower oil, and corn oil. To understand why these oils are so destructive to an aging brain, we have to look at how they are made. These are not natural fats that you can simply press out of a plant like olive oil. Industrial seed oils undergo a terrifying manufacturing process. The seeds are heated to incredibly high temperatures, bathed in petroleum-based solvents like hexane to extract the maximum amount of oil, and then bleached and deodorized with harsh chemicals so they do not smell rancid. This extreme processing damages the molecular structure of the fats, turning them into highly unstable, easily oxidized compounds before they even enter your mouth. When you consume these oxidized oils, they trigger a massive systemic inflammatory response throughout your entire body. Your joints might ache more, your digestion might slow down, but your brain is uniquely and profoundly vulnerable. As I mentioned earlier, your brain is roughly 60% fat. It literally builds its cellular membranes, the outer walls of every single neuron, out of the dietary fats you eat. The cell membrane is where nutrients enter the cell and where waste products exit. When you feed your brain damaged, oxidized, heavily processed seed oils, your brain has no choice but to incorporate those brittle, unstable fats into its own structure. This makes the cell membrane stiff and dysfunctional, severely impairing the speed at which your brain cells can communicate with one another. The data on this is absolutely clear, and it is something every senior needs to be aware of. A pivotal, highly respected study from the Journal of Neurology demonstrated that older adults with the highest levels of trans fats and oxidized linoleic acid in their blood, which is the exact specific type of fatty acid found abundantly in these baked diet snacks and seed oils, experienced a 74% higher risk of severe cognitive decline and significantly greater overall brain volume loss over a 10-year period. You are essentially forcing your body to build your brain out of faulty, decaying materials. Imagine for a moment that you leave a beautiful, finely tuned vintage bicycle out in the freezing rain and snow for years. Slowly, the gears begin to rust, the chain stiffens, the metal corrodes, and eventually, the wheels simply cannot turn, no matter how hard you pedal. That is exactly what oxidative stress from industrial seed oils does to your brain's processing speed and memory retrieval. The gears are rusting. So what is the practical solution here? I am not telling you that you have to give up snacking entirely. Snacking can be one of life's simple pleasures. But you must urgently swap the source of your dietary fats. Replace those baked seed oil-laden crisps and diet crackers with raw or dry roasted mixed nuts. Walnuts, macadamia nuts, almonds, and pecans are absolute powerhouses of nutrition. Walnuts in particular actually look like little brains, and they are incredibly rich in protective omega-3 fatty acids, which your brain uses to reduce inflammation and build healthy fluid cell membranes. If you desperately need a salty, savory crunch, try snacking on a bowl of high-quality green olives, or spend a Sunday afternoon making your own kale chips in the oven, tossed lightly in cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil and a pinch of sea salt. Extra virgin olive oil is packed with oleocanthal, a natural compound that operates similarly to ibuprofen in the body, actively tamping down inflammation. These healthy natural fats act like premium synthetic-free lubricating oil for your brain's delicate gears, fighting off that rust and supporting the growth of new, vibrant brain cells. If you are finding these tips useful and feeling a little more empowered about your health choices today, please pause for a moment and give this video a thumbs up. It signals to the algorithm that this is valuable content, which helps this life-saving information reach other seniors who might be struggling with brain fog and memory issues, and who desperately need to hear the truth about these deceptive foods. Our final dietary trap involves the booming multi-billion-dollar market of high-protein diet snacks, meal replacement bars, and protein shakes targeted specifically at seniors. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at synthesizing protein, leading to a natural loss of muscle mass known as sarcopenia. Doctors and nutritionists correctly advise us to eat more protein to maintain our strength, our balance, and our independence. The food industry capitalized on this by flooding the pharmacy and grocery store aisles with heavily processed bars and shakes that boast 20 or 30 grams of protein per serving. They look like candy bars, they taste like candy bars, but they are marketed as the ultimate health food for active aging. While getting adequate protein is absolutely vital for your muscles, the source of the protein in these heavily processed diet snacks is disastrous for your brain. They are almost universally made from cheap, highly processed soy protein isolate, whey protein concentrate, or textured vegetable protein. To make these cheap proteins taste good and last on a shelf for a year, manufacturers load them with hidden forms of monosodium glutamate, commonly known as MSG. But you will rarely see MSG on the ingredient list. It hides under sneaky, innocent-sounding names like natural flavoring, hydrolyzed yeast extract, textured protein, autolyzed plant protein, or spices. When soy is hyper-processed into a chemical isolate, it loses all of the natural protective nutrients, fiber, and cofactors found in whole soybeans. What you are left with is a highly concentrated powder loaded with phytic acid, which blocks your body from absorbing essential minerals like zinc and magnesium, both of which are crucial for brain health. Furthermore, processed soy isolate is rich in phytoestrogens, which can subtly disrupt your delicate hormonal balance as you age. But the most alarming danger lies in the hidden MSG and free glutamic acid found in these bars. Glutamate is naturally occurring in the body, acting as an excitatory neurotransmitter. It helps your brain cells communicate, but when you consume massive doses of synthetic isolated glutamate from highly processed diet bars, it acts as a powerful neurotoxin. Just like the artificial sweeteners we discussed earlier, this hidden MSG binds to the NMDA receptors in your brain and aggressively overexcites your neurons. This is not just a theory, it is documented clinical science. A comprehensive, peer-reviewed study published in the prestigious Journal of Alzheimer's Disease tracked the diets of thousands of seniors and found a terrifying correlation. The research revealed that diets high in ultra-processed foods, specifically those containing these heavily fractionated, isolated proteins and artificial flavor enhancers, were associated with a 28% faster rate of global cognitive decline in older adults. Furthermore, the constant state of excitotoxicity caused by these chemical additives directly contributes to the accumulation of amyloid beta plaques in the brain. These are the sticky, toxic protein fragments that clump together between neurons and are a primary hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. Imagine pouring cheap, heavily contaminated, waterlogged gasoline into the engine of a beautiful, classic, high-performance sports car. It might run for a few miles, sputtering and knocking loudly, but soon the fuel injectors will clog, the engine will stall, and eventually the entire system will break down completely, requiring a massive overhaul. Your brain is that high-performance classic engine, and ultra-processed, artificially flavored protein bars are the cheap, contaminated fuel. It is an insult to your incredible biological machinery. The fix here is both straightforward and deeply nourishing. You must swap those synthetic, foil-wrapped protein bars for real, single-ingredient protein sources that your body actually recognizes as food. If you need a quick protein snack, keep a batch of hard-boiled pasture-raised eggs in the fridge. Eggs are rich in choline, a nutrient that is absolutely essential for the production of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that serves as your brain's primary messenger for memory and learning. Alternatively, enjoy a few slices of smoked wild-caught salmon or a small bowl of plain, full-fat Greek yogurt sprinkled with hemp seeds and walnuts. These whole foods give your aging body the complete essential amino acids it desperately needs to maintain muscle mass and prevent frailty, while simultaneously providing the healthy fats, clean energy, and natural vitamins your brain requires to stay sharp, focused, and resilient. Let us take a moment to breathe deeply and recap what we have discovered together today. I know we have covered a lot of dense scientific ground, and it can be jarring to realize that the foods you thought were helping you might actually be causing harm. But the path to a sharper, healthier, more vibrant brain does not involve starvation, misery, or depriving yourself of joy. It simply requires us to be much smarter than the deceptive marketing tactics used against us by multinational food corporations. By bravely throwing out the artificially sweetened, sugar-free desserts and diet drinks, you are instantly protecting your delicate neurons from exhausting, lethal excitotoxicity. By ditching the baked, low-fat, seed oil-drenched diet chips and pretzels, you are stopping oxidative stress in its tracks and preventing microscopic rust from forming in your neural pathways. And by walking right past the highly processed, MSG-laden fake protein bars, you are refusing to fuel your magnificent brain with toxic inflammatory sludge. Instead, by choosing real, earth-grown foods like dark chocolate, fresh berries, omega-3 rich walnuts, cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil, pasture-raised eggs, and wild-caught fish, you are literally giving your brain the premium, high-quality building blocks it needs to repair cellular damage, form new neural connections, and thrive well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. I know that changing your dietary habits in your 60s or later can feel daunting and sometimes overwhelming. You have spent decades, an entire lifetime, building certain routines. Navigating the modern grocery store can sometimes feel like walking through a minefield of deceptive labels and false promises. It is completely okay if you feel a little frustrated right now. Your feelings are entirely valid, and you are not alone in feeling this way. But I want you to look at this new knowledge not as a restriction on your lifestyle, but as a profound, joyful liberation. You have the ultimate control over your health right now, in this very moment. Your biology is not your unchangeable destiny. Even if you have eaten these inflammatory diet foods for years, your body possesses a miraculous, almost divine ability to heal itself. The human brain exhibits neuroplasticity, meaning it can reorganize itself, form new synaptic connections, and heal from past insults, but only if you provide it with the right environment. The moment you stop providing your body with synthetic poisons and start providing it with true whole food nourishment, the healing begins. The inflammation subsides, the blood flow increases, and the brain fog lifts. Preserving your brain health is about so much more than just remembering where you left your reading glasses. It means preserving your fierce independence. It means being fully present and engaged for precious memories with your children and grandchildren. It means holding on to your vibrant, unique sense of self. You, your memories, and your future are absolutely worth that effort. Every healthy meal is an investment in your independence. I want to hear from you down in the comment section right now. Which of these 3 fake diet foods are you going to bravely throw out of your pantry today? Let us make a public commitment to our health and hold each other accountable in a loving, supportive way. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel because your health, your mind, and your memories are worth fighting for, and we are going to keep fighting for them together, side by side, every single week. Remember, getting older is a profound privilege denied to many, but aging vibrantly with a sharp mind and a full heart is a daily choice. Make the beautiful choice to nourish your magnificent brain today.